Hey everyone, so what we're going to look at today is just creating a simple Hello World project from scratch using the IDF. So I'm going to, that's the Expressive Development Framework. So I'm going to use the PowerShell here. You can also use the command prompt. Okay. So this is going to be a Linux-based commands. You can see here it starts and it's got to run all its checks. And so, yeah, we're going to go right from, we're going to start with, okay, so as always, yes, we're going to go right from project creation, your first build, adding a statement in the main loop that just outputs hello world, and then just going through that entire process. So I always like to get to my root directory, which is a cd / command. Then I go cd ESP _proj. If I hit tab there, it auto completes. All right, hit that. And now I'm going to go, if you look idf.py, we get all the commands. It'll come up in a second. And we're going to use the create project, which is right here. Okay, and so we go back down, we go idf.py, create - project. And this is going to be hello world. Let's just say, I think I might have another one, say v1. And so this creates sort of the framework for all the files. So if we go here, we can see, if I go to C drive, C : ESP project, okay, and you're going to see the hello world v1. Inside here, we've got a CMake list. We're not going to touch that right now, but if you want to do your code editing, you do it right here. So this is the starter file created by ESP-IDF. Okay, so we can put our include statements here, and we put our main program here, which is where the programs start executing. Okay, so we can also, if you notice now, I do ls, lists all the directories. I got hello world v1. So now I go cd hello world v1, and then I do my ls, and you can see that's that directory I referred to. So the main, the materials in there. Note there's no build folder right now. If I go idf.py build, it'll create that directory and it'll start the process. But really what we need to do right now is set target. So this is the chip that you use. So I'm going to use my ESP32S2. I'm sorry I'm a bit behind. I haven't set up my S3. I'll do that shortly. But this sets the chip for the IDF, the ESP-IDF. And you can see it's doing all the information here. So this goes into the SD config file. Sorry. Go back here. So now we have the build directory. If we go to the main, okay, I think we have to complete the build first. Okay, so that's now setting the chip and all that stuff. Run. I know for some of you this takes a while. And as always, my advice is once this is done, you do idf.py, build, and now it starts the build process. And if you watch this for a second, starts the Ninja all, there's going to be, yeah, it has to do building all these C objects, which is all the linkers and everything that goes on. So this takes 3 or 4 minutes. So if we go over here, let's look at the main. Now we're looking at the hello world v1 main file. Okay, and if I do printf hello world, and I build this and I try to flash it, we're going to get an error, and that's because the main app main has finished. And so You can't do that inside the ESP-IDF, the free RTOS version that they have here. What you have to do is do for. For : never ends. Okay, it's just a for loop that never ends. Okay, so if we build this right now, we'll get one hello world, maybe 2 or 3, and then it's going to error out. And that's because there's no vtask delay, which frees up the processor. And so we have to do the vtask delay. Okay, and in here we need ticks. So I'm going to go back to one of the other things we did in class. And I'm going to just borrow that vtask delay. I can't remember off the top of my head, but vtask delay. So what do we have here? vtask delay 2000 divided by port ticks, tick period ms. So this is going to convert this 2000 to 2 seconds. So if we run this, if we compile this now and run it, it's going to send this prompt, hello world, every 2 seconds to the terminal. Okay, so let's go see how our build is doing. So our build is progressing. Okay, so we can now see it's done building. So, oh, look at that. It actually, oh, it took my updated file. I didn't know it did that. Okay, this is great. So vtask delay, we've got this port tick ms, which is undeclared. And the first clue by that one is that we are missing this free RTOS stuff right here. So that was my oversight. Let's do that. And now if we save it and run it again, this shouldn't take long at all. There, it's done. So little trick here. So it's all compiled, no error. So if we go back here, build flash monitor, it's going to build it again. It's going to flash it to my ESP32 chip to board sitting over here. And then it's going to monitor, it's going to speak to the serial and say output to our terminal. Okay, so I'm going to do this again. So this may take a second because it's building again and flashing again. Actually, didn't flash last time, but it's going to build. Then it's going to flash. Here it goes. It's flashing. And now it's going to monitor. And now we're getting a hello world every 2 seconds. Okay, so just to summarize, we created a project using set target. Sorry, we created a project using create project. So idf.py. Let me stop that. And then control square close bracket to stop that. So what were to summarize, what were the things we did? We did idf.py create project, right? After we got to our ESP project directory. So just put everything in ESP project directory. Then I did set target. We did set target at ESP32 S2. You probably have an S3. You should do that. Then we did idf.py build right after we created the project. Okay. And then we did the build flash monitor. So, and then we updated the file to include this free RTOS information, the timers and the free RTOS. I'm not sure we needed the timers, but we added it anyway. And then we have this infinite for loop of just printing out hello world. And that pretty much summarizes what we've done.